this has been a topic. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that Elon Musk came out on Saturday Night Live and said that he is the first person. I believe he said that he was the first person on the autism spectrum, but then later on he said something. He used the word Asperger's.
Right.
And it's created a little bit of a firestorm for people. And even our dear friend, Anita Lesko, we should have her on to talk about it, because I know she feels very emotional about the term Asperger's, and a lot of people do. They're like, why did that term get done away with? And because technically no one can be diagnosed with Asperger's right now. It's not an official diagnosis in the DSM-5 anymore. It's now an umbrella called ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder, and you get a level rating, and it's 2 numbers that you're given. And but often people only use 1 number, which makes a lot of the people who diagnose crazy. But they're saying, is it Asperger's or is it level 1 ASD? And even that is wrong, because it wouldn't be a level, it would be a level 1-1 ASD, if you want to be technical. So, what is it and what does it mean? And so this was an interesting article in WebMD, but I think there's an emotional thing here as well. And that's what I heard from Anita Lesko in this last week, is that she is someone who identifies herself as having Asperger's.
Right.
And she feels like they're trying to do away with like the diagnosis that defines her.
Right.
And of course, I want to say to everybody, like, you are allowed to use whatever words you want to define yourself. Like, don't be defined just by the DSM-5. If you feel that Asperger's defines you, it's just not a medical term anymore, but you can call yourself Asperger's. You can own that for yourself. But we felt as they were changing the diagnosis that people with Asperger's felt like they were going to be cut out of services. I think we saw exactly the opposite. Do you agree, Nancy?
No, they got more services because they were diagnosed as autistic for having autism.
I think the hard part is that it's such a spectrum. When you can have somebody like Elon Musk, who is literally making rockets to go to Mars, and then you have people who do not have the ability to communicate their most basic needs, that they need to go to the bathroom, and they are on the same continuum, I think it's confusing to everyone. I think it's very hard because it means that we all have to be flexible. We all have to understand that these individuals are exactly that, individuals, and that they have there are things that Elon Musk needs that I don't. And there are things that a person who does not have the vocal or verbal behavior or the device to be able to say, I have to go to the bathroom, there are things that they need. We're all people. And how we feel about ourselves and how we language ourselves should be honored, I believe. But then we have medical terms to describe certain things as well. And I think it's emotional.
We got a comment from Peter Odell. I was diagnosed with Asperger's at 10. I don't feel bad about the DS5 change, and I still get services, he says.
Yeah. And I wonder, I think it's a little bit of a generational thing for people who went their whole lives and were adults when the change happened. And now they all identify themselves as having Asperger's. And then some well-meaning person will go, oh, that designation doesn't exist anymore. I think we should stop saying that. I think because I can see where if I was a person who went my whole life identifying as being Asperger's, and if I said that to somebody and they said, well, that's not a thing anymore, I think I would have a hard time with that. So, I think we can all be a little bit more cognizant and say, we don't need to tell people that isn't a diagnosis anymore. It's still a thing. And it's, now it would be, well, in some cases it would be a 1-1. Let's talk for just a second about the fact that, one of the reasons why I like the DSM-5 and the classification readings is that I know some folks who are diagnosed with Asperger's and have classic Asperger's but they need a tremendous amount of support for their anxiety. Like, I mean, a tremendous amount of support for their anxiety. They are not a level 1-1. They might be a level 1-3. And that I think they actually get more unique help for them, because everybody always assumes, oh, well, Asperger's means that you're so capable. That is not always the case. Some individuals have more needs than others within the criteria. I think that's why the DSM-5 and the levels are important. But I think it's also important to allow people to identify themselves. Listen, we're doing this across the board with gender and all kinds of things. I mean, I literally the other day had to say to somebody, I need a chart, because somebody identified themselves to me as being a non-binary lesbian. And I was like, I want to, like, what exactly does that mean? And then somebody else would, use another term. And I was like, I'm old. Just give me a chart. I want to be respectful.
I know.
I just like, tell me what you want and how you want to be referred to. And I'm happy to do that.
It's very confusing, I think.
It is
the times they are changing.
Yes. And I want everybody to be comfortable. And I don't ever want to say something that makes somebody uncomfortable. I just want to know. And I think everybody's entitled to, like, if we can do this in gender and we have 32, so-and-so identifies themselves as pansexual and, and this person is cisgender and it's all this. Why can't we do that with autism? Like, you tell us how you want to identify and just give me the chart and I'm a happy camper. Somebody says DSM is incomplete and people still like to assume our kids and our adults are just misbehaved tantruming brats. Yes, well, those people we need to re-educate. But I know that I could not walk in my son's shoes even one day. And thank you. Yes, I think our kids are amazing and warriors. And that people who are tolerant of our kids, I just find I have less and less time for them. Is that bad, Nancy? Am I a bad person? That I just I'm like, I don't even want to, like, when I find somebody who's that level of intolerant, I find that I just want to say, go get yourself educated. And I don't even want to spend the time talking to them. I've gotten less tolerant of ignorant people. So there we have it. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.